and finally we have Sharon, and she is our, she was a top producing agent, an award-winning manager, national trainer, coaching top producing agents. Sharon Swanson is our broker here at Keller Williams at Marketplace One and oversees the activities of approximately 140 agents. She has been a broker for 36 years and over 40 years of experience.
So I've been in real estate longer than most of you have been alive. Which means that there's very little I haven't run into over the years. And my belief in my job here is to do two things. One is to help you make money, and the other is to keep you out of court. So that's primarily what my focus is. I'll be around throughout this. You can ask me any questions that you want to. I have had a lot of different experiences in real estate. We're glad you're all here.
Awesome. So I'm going to kind of give you an overview. We're going to talk about the market. We're going to talk about what it's like to get licensed, get into production, get into momentum, and get into success. We're going to talk about all the reasons a real estate agent is not successful. We're going to give you some stats as to who's not successful and why. And then we're going to talk about what kind of real estate business do you want and what would be your exit strategy or long-term game plan, okay? And then when we're all done, we're going to feed you, because I think that's always how to get to a real estate agent is through their tummy. So we have some great partners who help make these things happen for us, and we're going to all meet out in the bullpen. We're going to have some food, and we would like to talk to you one-on-one. So the three of us are going to make ourselves available. My team is here. We're going to be available to have conversations with you, and that would be the time that if you see some value and you see something in Sharon or Melissa or myself, come up, have a conversation. We'd love to have you come back for a one-on-one conversation, a little more deeper, dive into you and your goals and your values and how we may be able to help you in your business. Okay. So obviously this is who we are. We're going to give you our contact information when we're done. So let's talk about the market. How many in this room know that we are in a really, really, really strong seller's market? Raise your hand. How many in this room believe that we are in a neutral market? Raise your hand. How many in this room believe that we're in a really, really strong buyer's market? Raise your hand. So I saw 4 hands go up, and this is the reality. The consumer and the sellers are usually on the same page together when it comes to our housing market in Las Vegas. And the reason why is because they're making decisions based off of reports. The news, the buyer and seller from the neighborhood down the road or whatever. Their insight into the market is roughly 90 days behind. So for those of you who aren't in the real estate market right now, you think that we're in a strong seller's market, you were correct about 90 days ago. However, something amazing has happened that Las Vegas hasn't seen since roughly 2007, 2008. Does anybody know what that is? Anybody? Brandon?
Shift.
Yeah. Everything that goes up must come down. That's the proverbial sense. And in real estate, we call it cyclicalness. I don't have a dry erase board, so we'll come back to it. We all remember 2006, right? When the market was awesome and everybody, like, you could buy a house in a bar. And you can sit there with a lender at a bar and they're like, you have a pulse? Great, we'll sell you a home, sign here. You laugh. That was what happened. Obviously, we had an economic crash. The financial markets crashed. There was people who were put into prison, and we will never repeat that level of history again. And I believe that it was good that we went through it. However, history does repeat itself. And so we're starting to see some lenders that say, hey, I got $500,000 in my back pocket. I'll go and lend it to someone. And they're like, hey, you're good. You got a job, right? Yeah, you're good. You put all this information. You think that the FDIC is going to pass all that? Great. We'll buy you a house. It's happening again. So we're in what's called a shift. We don't even know if that is a positive, a negative, and I don't think we even really care, because you're going to learn in a little while why that is irrelevant to us and what it takes for us to make money. But what does it mean? It means that the market is seeing a correction, okay? And that's what I'd like to call it today, is a correction. The market says, oh my gosh, Las Vegas, you went from the bottom of the barrel all the way up to the top. You even beat Seattle 2 months ago as the #1 real estate market in the country. Awesome. And what happens when a plane goes really fast, or a car goes really fast, or a boat goes really fast? it's a little more unstable, right? So we went from the bottom of the market, number one in foreclosure rates in 2010, 11, 12, to soaring back up through economic growth in the valley. And now we're sitting up here on this bell curve, and it's inevitable that the market says, all right, Vegas, you've had your fun, we're gonna kind of correct it. Now you take a correction. You also add a seasonal shift, which we are used to in Las Vegas. Typically the market declines a little bit, as does tourism in the winter, okay? About September, October-ish, all the way through January, February-ish. So we're gonna get a little bit of a decline. And then you take the possibility of a global shift, either a shift in our country or a shift in the worldwide markets, we don't know yet. So we could have a triple header. So today, when you're thinking about getting into real estate, and when you're thinking about, well, what does that market look like to me? You know, is this what I should be getting into? I'm going to tell you that Seth Campbell, who is one of the founders of Five Doors Network, got in 2008. He got into real estate in 2008. What did I just say happened in 2008?
Crash.
Probably, and we didn't crash yet, but we were going down pretty fast, we just didn't know it. 2008. So if you were to take, and I love visual aids, this roughly 2008, roughly. Could even, some people would argue that it could be somewhere down in here, but let's just say this is 2008. Okay? So now, we're gonna fast forward that to here. And this is 2008, 2018, 2008, 2018. Is it safe to say we could be in a similar position today that we were in 2008? So Melissa, Seth Campbell, who is one of the top real estate team and expansion companies in all of Keller Williams, got into business in 2008. Did he know he was in a crashing market? He didn't know. He was on a mission. He was on a mission. Adam Hergenrother, who is one of the top 3 teams, he and Seth are very much idealistic. They're like neck and neck. Got into the business in 2006. I got into business in 2015. Somewhere about there, 2015.
I got my license in 2009.
2009. So you were probably here if we were on the other page.
I didn't know any different.
Sharon, I'd have to probably pull all the rest of these pads, line them all up, and come back over here.
I've been through lots of these changes.
So, as you get scared, don't necessarily get scared about this. This is opportunity. And I'm excited about the shift, and I hope it's catastrophic, because there are 1.3 million realtors nationally, according to the National Association of Realtors 2017.
Probably more now.
Yes, probably more now, and we're going to talk about it. 87% of all real estate agents fail within the first 5 years.
Many of them within the first 2 years.
I was gonna say like 18 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have data that says if they don't succeed in 18 months, they're out. They don't succeed in 18 months, they're out. 2018, we'll see an increase of over 16,000 real estate agents in the Greater Las Vegas Association of Realtors. There was 14,000 in 2017. There was 8,000 somewhere around 2011-ish, 2012. 8,000. So we have doubled. I never see those people. I never work with them. I might have dinner, you know, at a restaurant that they work at. I might get my car rental from them, but they're not in real estate full time. And so I'm excited to see them like get out of business. I'm excited to see that the people who are buying and selling in real estate are working with a consummate professional. Somebody who is all in, and dedicated to helping people in real estate. I don't know of a real estate agent part-time who is successful, personally.
Well, that first year and a half I was part-time.
Okay, were you successful?
12 homes my first year, 25 my second.
Okay.
You're the exception.
However, it took a serious hustle of working at night and doing real estate during the day. It wasn't so to clarify, it was not 3 hours of real estate a day and I sold all these homes and oh my gosh, look at me, it's so amazing. It was all day real estate and then I would go work at night from like 6 p.m. to 2 a.m., sleep, get up, start over. So
that's
to
full-time real
clarify,
estate. You
you're
just
right.
work 2 full-time jobs.
You're right.
Yeah.
So I will take that back.
Yeah.
I did absolutely work full-time,
Yep.
2 jobs. So that's the difference. In my mind, thank you for helping me remove that limiting belief.
Great.
I'm like, oh, it's part-time, you could totally make it. No, you can't do 3-4 hours a day and think that you're gonna kill it, right? So thank you for that. See, I'm still learning every day too. I was not part-time, I had 2 full-time jobs.
Most successful realtors work 50 to 60 hours a week. It's just what it is.
My first
Some
year.
work more than that.
Yeah. My first year in real estate, I ran a law firm full-time. And I sold 33 homes. And I didn't realize that was a lot of homes. I was not in a brokerage. I had a broker who did commercial, and he was our expert testimony witness, and he worked out of his house. And so he said, I'll hang our license at your law office. So, I gave myself my own awards. Like, I didn't know anything because I was never going to sell real estate. I got my license. I had my own limiting belief. I got my license to help my law clients, not to sell homes. And the reality was, because, well, first of all, I was not a salesperson. I wasn't a salesperson.
I just needed a real job.
Yeah, right. So, I'm gonna say 12 to 13,000 of all real estate agents in Las Vegas are part-time, whether it's physical or mental, or a little of both. They are not all in on real estate, and they will miss opportunities. How many in this room have bought a home? Okay, so when you bought a home and you called your real estate agent at 9 o'clock and said, I see this 2-bedroom, 3-bath house on Zillow and I want to go look at it tomorrow morning, you expected your agent to respond to you, right?
I'm not that kind of person, but sure.
Okay.
I was like 9 to 5, been on call.
Sure.
We appreciate you.
Because real estate is a lifestyle and most people search nights and weekends, and they'll send the information and then the agent responds back at 9 o'clock at night, and what have we just done? We've set the standard of our communication. So we'll talk a little bit more about clarity in our business and teaching people how to treat us. Second level of the class. However, this shift is going to do a couple of things. It's going to put a buyer and a seller in the same bullpen together instead of a seller being kind of out here in left field and thinking that, I can sell my home for whatever I want and it's worth so much and I'm the God's gift to sellers, because that is the perception in Vegas. It was for the last 2 years, really. Like the seller's like, I'll just put it on the market for whatever I want and somebody's gonna buy it. And we were seeing people $10, $20, $30,000 over list price. And then the appraiser walks in. He's like, how you doing? Yeah, it's not worth this. I'll give you 4%. And all of a sudden, this proverbial slap upside the head to the sellers, and then they get mad, and then they're like, fine, I don't want to sell this home, and I'll put it back on the market and find another buyer. And then all of a sudden, inventory shrunk. Yeah, right? And then inventory shrunk. And then the buyers got scared, and they're like, well, wait a minute, we'll just take the home. We'll take the home because we're tired of looking at 30 homes and not getting any offer accepted. So we'll just take it. Well, now, the market's correcting itself. And that's a beautiful thing. And the real estate agent market is correcting itself. They're saying, hey, for the last, let's say 2015, 16, 17, so the last 4 years, as Sharon likes to say, the volley between a buyer and a seller was this close. So the listing agent and the buyer's agent, all they had to do is hand an offer and go, can you get that accepted? One counter offer. We don't want to upset you too much. So here's one counter offer, and it was usually something BS. Here you go. Is that good? Can we do the deal? Whew, thank you. And now we're starting to see like a tennis match. We're starting to see this ball getting passed around and us getting a little closer and a little closer. Well, what does that mean now? We're real estate agents, and now we have to learn to negotiate.
Yep.
How many in this room, well, let's get a count first. How many in this room are in real estate right now, hold an active real estate license? 1.5, 2. My team doesn't count. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for getting it. So 1 has a real estate license. How many are in school? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5, 4 3/4-ish. And how many showed up today because they have a dream, a passion, and a desire to do something bigger than what they're doing right now, and they believe real estate is the answer? Half the room. Awesome. So is it safe to say that this room is full of people who don't know what we don't know yet? Now, I'll raise my hand the highest because I'm learning every single day. I lean on Sharon and say, you know what? My team and I, we do a lot of deals, and man, every day is a new day. Every challenge is a new opportunity to learn. So I come into my business every morning with an open head because I know I'm going to come up against something that I don't have the answer to. And I sell a lot of homes. So the market is changing. How many in this room aspire to be a real estate agent? Raise your hands. Awesome. Now, how many in this room aspire to be business owners? Okay. Now, how many in this room aspire to be empire builders? Good. Good. So I'm talking to people that you don't know this yet, but that have the understanding of what we call our 6 personal perspectives. I'm talking to a room of people that said, you know what, I don't have a ceiling of achievement on my opportunities in my life. I just need a buttload of money to get there.
Yeah.
Now let's be real. Craig does not enjoy opening up doors and showing homes. No. Not passionate about it. Craig likes to make a whole lot of money, and Craig loves to help people. Period. Everything I do every single day is to help someone such that by doing that, I make a lot of money. They make a lot of money, I make a lot of money, we have a great relationship. So when it comes to value versus cost, in my team, and I'm gonna have Melissa explain kind of her thing, I get into business with people that use real estate to fund a perfect life. We are going to be disconnected when you say, oh my gosh, I saw this home and it looked just like HGTV. It had that Berber carpet, it had that tile plank flooring, and had the 2-tone paint. Like, you lost me. As soon as you start talking about the inventory and the details, I'm gone, mentally gone. Now you start saying, hey, it was a 3-bedroom, 2-home in Southern Highlands. I go, oh yeah, there's 64 of them on the market today. What's the price per square foot of this one? Because as far as I'm concerned, real estate is a product. It's a can of beans on the shelf. And some people will look at me like, really? No, homes, like my family, I get that. My job is to help people, and my job is to make a lot of money. And so today, we sell homes. But make no mistake, we are in a tech data war. We are in a data war. Amazon wants to be a real estate agent. Zillow wants to be a real estate agent. And so we have to get really clear on what our value proposition is. We have to get really clear on what it is that we do for a living, such that by doing that, we either are an agent that enables technology, or we are technology that happens to enable an agent. And you're gonna get some clarity out of that today, because that's gonna be big. One of the most awesome things for me at being at Keller Williams is at least I'm surrounded by an organization that values my commission check. values me making money so that my family has the life that they desire. That's huge. My organization has vowed not to turn me into a Blockbuster Video, has vowed not to turn me into a travel agency. BlackBerry, which I hear they're coming back. It's another story. Like, so, like, I know you all like, I wanted to come in to learn how to sell homes. Like, that's the easiest part of what we do. Selling the actual homes is like, do I want the name brand? Do I want the great value? Like, that's the easy part. It comes down to, do I want to work with somebody who's going to create a fiduciary duty? Do I want to work with somebody who's going to look out for my financial interests? What is that value? What are you as a real estate agent professional going to do that sets you apart from the guy who's virtual on a computer screen that says, hi, would you like house A? Would you like house B? Please click. Please go to the home and I'm going to give you an automated code to get into the home. If you like the home, text me and I'll virtually write an offer and send it to you to sign. I'm sorry, you're putting your life savings on the table. How many in this room have a background in contract law? Okay, neither do your buyers and sellers. At least you're going to get an education to learn about it. Like, there's so much awesome opportunity in front of us in real estate that my brain kind of explodes. I mean, it explodes.
We could be here all day.
We could literally talk about the future of real estate as a industry until the cows come home. But you know what? I'm on a mission. And Melissa's on a mission. And Sharon is on a mission. And all of you are on a mission. Like, you're sitting here today because you want something. And I'll bet you that buying and selling the actual home on behalf of a client is a small piece of what it is that we truly want. So I want you to get clear today. How many of you know Simon Sinek? Yeah. So Simon Sinek became really popular on TED Talk. TED Talk is this virtual online, people would talk in front of rooms and they would record it and you would get insight. I didn't follow him for a couple of years, and all of a sudden he did a talk on basically how we raise our kids. I'm like, first of all, I don't have any kids, and I've got a lot of nieces and nephews, but I'm intrigued. And I started watching him, and then he started talking about real estate. And I'm like, all right, dude, kids, real estate, two different things. Now I'm all in, I want to know what he had to say. And I started watching him, and this is a guy who gets really analytical into the why of people. Why do you get up in the morning? Why do you do what you do? Because when shit hits the fan, when life goes south, are you all in on something? And are you going to get a return on your investment? So in real estate, you need to know, why am I in real estate? Because it's not about buying and selling. What we're doing today is not going to be what we do in 24 months. And Sharon has an analogy on that. She says that talented real estate agents, or top producers as you call them, they do what?
They adapt.
Yeah.
No matter what the market, they always adapt and they always stay in the business. They never get out. So they just shift along with the shift.
Yep. I don't know what tomorrow brings. I've never been in a buyer's market. Contrary to popular belief.
Totally different.
I have.
When did I get my license? I got my license in 2015. I have been in real estate 4 years. 4 years. And my team and I, collectively, we have outperformed 15,900 plus real estate agents in this town. I got into real estate. I met with our recruiter here, Keith at the time. He sat me down. He's like, wow, you did 33 deals. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, you did 33 deals. I'm like, yeah, sorry. I mean, I've got a full-time job. He's like, no, that's a lot. I'm like, what? What do you mean it's a lot? I would literally leave my law office at 3, 4 o'clock, go and show homes, go and listing appointments, write offers that night. Because that's all the time I had. But I was on a mission. Melissa was on a mission. I had no idea that 33 homes was top 5% of all real estate agents. I had no idea. I'm I'm like, what is everybody else doing? Yeah, I did $160,000 in net GCI that year.
I chose to take 4 years. Everyone's on their own journey.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
amazing. Like what he did is incredible, especially 2015 he's standing here today.
And I didn't have any help. Okay, I didn't have any help. I was at a quote-unquote independent brokerage. It was me and a broker, and the broker's like, yeah, so here's the MLS. They're gonna give you some free tools. You probably can do this better than I can. Let me know.
Here's your desk, here's your phone.
And it was my law office, so I had my own desk. Like, I literally had zero support. Not in a bad way. Like, he saw me as talented, and he's like, let me know if you ever need anything from me. Like, you're good. And then I started to grow a little team. I had a couple of people that were like, oh my God, Craig, I want to get into real estate. Can I watch what you do? Can I follow you around? And all of a sudden, I never saw the broker. The broker was making, by the way, I was in an independent. I was on 100% brokerage, by the way. The broker was making $7,500 a month off of me. Just because he decided to give me everything I needed. I didn't know what I didn't know. So my team decides, you know what, we need more. We need to grow. We need to learn more. We want to be around real estate agents, not around a bunch of paralegals. And we started to look at brokerages. And I started interviewing. How many in this room are familiar with a personality profile? Tony Robbins calls it a DISC. Some people call it a 4 quadrants. In real estate, it's a huge benefit to know that because you're dealing with personalities. So when you can understand what the personality is in front of you, like you can sell to that. You know, you can mirror match, you can engage with them. So for those of you who understand personality profiles, I'm a 98D and I'm a 77C. So I'm extremely driven, some borderline aggressive, okay, and I'm extremely analytical and cautious. So I tend to analyze the crap out of stuff, miss opportunities, and then go, no, I'm gonna go take it back, make it really messy, and then go full force down the road. My team comes to me and says, you know what, we want to like look at other brokerages. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna go to this brokerage that has a couple offices in Vegas, and you know, it's awesome. They got a full-time attorney on staff, and like this is gonna be cool. We're gonna take Las Vegas by storm. And they're like, yeah, we're not interested in that. We want to be in a place where we can learn. We want to be in a place where we can grow with other agents. We want to be in a place where we get support, where they have technology. I'm like, what? You know me? Anybody else? I'm good. So I interviewed 7 brokerages. And my friend, Ed Rossi, called him up and I'm like, hey, I'm pretty confident my team and I are going to go to your brokerage. So, you know, who do you know? There's this guy, last name like Stark or something, like, you know, can we get a meeting? And he's like, hey, I'm not there. I know, I just kind of plugged that in there. And he's like, I'm not there. I left. I'm like, what? Dude, you're like me. Why? Golden handcuffs, life's great. No, we're gonna stay there. Like, this is an awesome place. You know, it's a big time brokerage. He's like, no, I'm at Keller Williams. I'm like, what? That place? They drink like, you know, Kool-Aid, and they all like have pom-poms, or like kumbaya, and, like, they don't get any work done. He's like, quite the contrary. He's like, come over, meet me. I'll show you around. So I'm like, yeah, I know the brokerage owner. Like, she's a big player. Her and her husband, they do a lot of business in town. He's like, come over, have a chat. So I came over, and 4 hours later, because I'm analytical, I left that interview, and I'm like, I don't know. Best thing though is, I knew who owned Keller Williams, because about 7 years ago, actually it was a little longer, so it was about 2005, I read this book, and I put no attention into it, but I did read it. So I knew who Gary Keller was, but I didn't know anything about Keller Williams. I came over, sat down, he started talking to me like, hey, have you ever read MREA? I'm like, yeah, years ago, I don't remember it. And he's like, well, who do you know, what do you do, who do you follow? You know, and I said, well, you know, at the law firm, I used to have some influential attorneys and stuff and high personalities, and so I really got into like Rich Dad Poor Dad and Tony Robbins and how do you motivate these people to, you know, to take care of business. And he's like, I'm gonna give you a book. So he gave me a book. And he says, I want you to think of it like a business plan. Don't read it like a novel, read it like a business plan. A step-by-step guide. I'm like, okay. So then he came and he met my team, an open house, and that was a 2-hour ordeal. And then I came back and I met the broker. And I came back and I met the team owner, the brokerage owner, what we call operating principals. And at that point, my team and I made the decision to come here. And by the time I came back, my team leader said, I want you to read through page 198 of the MREA. And I did. All the way through budgets, basically. And so I'm going to stop there because I'm really excited to hear Melissa's journey. But I want you to know that I was at an independent brokerage where I got 100% of everything, and I still ended up paying $7,500 to my broker. Now I'm at an interdependent brokerage where I have a partnership. I make money, the brokerage makes money. I don't make any money, the brokerage doesn't make any money. And I operate a dependent, interdependent team. I get agents on my team as a dependent relationship, and I get them into momentum, and I get them into what I call mindset, skills, and activity is really what it is. And then when they get into production, I have a plan for them. Leadership opportunity, a team within a team, market center growth, expansion opportunities, etc. So as we're talking about the cost versus value, you need to ask, they're all significant value propositions, depending on what it is that you want. How many in this room know what it costs to get into real estate? Yep. Question about cost?
Do you mean just the class or everything?
Everything. Hang your physical license in Sharon's office and say, I'm ready for a career in real estate. How many? How much does it cost? Yeah.
About $2,500.
Okay. Who else? No, you don't count. You count, just not in answering this question. Who else? Closest to the right number wins. I got Starbucks. Huh? 1,500.
$3 grand.
$3 grand. 300.
3,000.
3,000. We have two 3,000s. We have a 300,
I'll drop it
1,500,
to
2,500.
2,800.
2,800. Right. 3,200. 32. Going once, going twice. 32. Anybody? Sorry you dropped it. The correct answer is 3,000.
Oh.
So how many in this room have $3,000 on their Visa, MasterCard, Discovery, American Express to pay for school, pay for licensing, pay for fingerprinting, pay for the real estate division, and that is just to hang your license. Now, here's the kicker. Do you also have the living expense income to carry you for 6 months, sometimes up to 18 months if you're an individual agent on your own? So now take what your living expenses are, times that by 6 months at a minimum, add the 3,000 on top of that. How many in this room are ready to get into real estate? Okay. Now the good news is,
Okay,
you,
don't have
yeah,
a-
the good news is, the good news is there are opportunities for everybody. I like to call it sweat equity versus check equity. Remember I said I have a dependent team that I get into interdependent relationships with? And I think that Melissa has the same opportunities. If you're willing to do the work, money is never the issue. It can become the issue if you talk a big talk and you don't walk a big walk. But if you're willing to put in the effort and the work, real estate can be extremely rewarding. So Melissa, tell us about your experience, value versus cost.
Okay. So I got my license in 2009. I needed a real career. I was 24 at the time, and I come from like a theater, performing arts background. I was actually dealing cards in a casino, so I moved to Las Vegas in 2008. I a month before it crashed. But again, coming out of college, my husband and I, like, we didn't know any different. So I'm so grateful that I was not spoiled. I didn't know any better. A $300 rental check was more than I was used to making in an 8-hour shift. So I thought this was amazing. So $100,000 buyer, $3,000 commission check was like, are you kidding me? Like, that's a ton of money. So I didn't come from a corporate world where I was used to salary and benefits and then made a transition into real estate where you do take a step back before you can grow. So I'm very grateful for that beginning because I did decide to get my license in the bottom of the market. My average sales price was $80,000. So my average commission check might have been $1,000 for a sale. Now, 9.5 years later, my average commission check is between $10,000 and $12,000. So at the time when I got started, everybody was getting out of the business. People, you have to realize, people were making money, like Craig said, like easy, millionaires. Like, I can't tell you how many real estate agents were making millions of dollars in Las Vegas in 2006 and 2007, and then lost it all. And so I'm coming in at the bottom where I see everybody literally losing their houses, foreclosing, short sales, lost all their money, everything. And to me, it was almost a little traumatizing to be like, I don't ever want to do that. I don't ever want to go through that. Like, I need to be very smart with my money, be very frugal. Just because I have a $10,000 check does not mean I get to go buy $1 million house and go shopping and get crazy and buy, you know, super fancy cars. And you start to see this materialistic side of the business where you see people and like it's funny, I wear this every day now because it's easy and it looks professional, but like in the beginning, I didn't even own a blazer. I was so uncomfortable. I was like, I'm never gonna be a successful real estate agent because I don't look like those people on $1 million listing who are all sharp and they look like, you know, fancy. It's like, that's not me. That freaks me out. Again, came from theater, like total, like wear black backstage. I don't have to worry about it, you know? I have an outfit and I show up and that's what you wear. Like, I don't have to think about it. So that being said, I got kind of caught up in this facade of like, oh gosh, to be successful, you have to look a certain way, and you have to dress a certain way, and you have to, you know, be very professional, and you have to have an image, and you gotta have a fancy car, and all I can say now looking back is, yes, image matters, yes, being professional matters, yes, you wanna make sure, like, people do judge you, right? They're gonna judge, are you successful or are you not? You're showing up to my house, in a car that's, you know, barely starting, and I'm gonna trust you with my biggest purchase or investment of my life. So when I got in the business, so many people were leaving because their attitude was, I'm not working 2-3 times as hard for half the money. Like, you saw how many people leave, right? So what happened was they're used to making all this money. And now all of a sudden, you realize real estate agents are reliant on the sales price of a home for how much we make. So the same amount of work, they would make $1 million, $500,000, something crazy. Now the exact same amount of work, they might make 100, which again, to me, was still a ton of money. So I'm very grateful that it happened that way because I started kind of going to everybody and saying, hey, give me all the crap or give me all the stuff that you don't want. You don't want a $50,000 condo buyer? Perfect, I'll take it and I'll pay you a referral fee. You don't want this rental because it's a waste of your time? Perfect, I'll take it. So I literally went to everybody in my company and other companies and said, hey, I'm your person. Give it to me. I went to property managers. So when I say like, we're gonna talk about hustle in a little bit, it's real. Like, you gotta go above and beyond. I never sat there and said, it's not worth my time. $300, I'd rather just go wait and find a buyer. Ugh, I have to give you a referral fee, or I gotta pay a split, or like, what's funny in all of this is I was an individual agent. We'll talk about teams, I'm sure, later, right? So I was an individual agent. I don't need a team. I got this. I have a little bit of a like stubborn independence about me that I didn't realize until like looking back on my story. I'm like, oh, I do that. I didn't realize it. I don't need anybody. I'll make it happen. I got it on my own. Like, just show me where to go. I'll go do the work. Let me go. Now that I run a team and I talk to new agents all the time, and I started telling them like, oh, were you on a team or were you on your own when you first started? Like, I did it on my own. No, I didn't. When I got in the business, my first day, my license hadn't even come in yet. I showed up to my company and I said, I passed the test, I showed up, I'm here, what do I do? couldn't deal with it. She was so overwhelmed that she was just like, I don't care about these buyer leads coming in, like, I don't have time for this crap. And I'm like, okay, I'm here, what do I do? She's like, Melissa, do you wanna start calling these people back? Cause I don't have time for it. Okay. I was her buyer's agent without understanding what that meant, cause I wasn't on a team. So I gave her a 25% referral fee for every number she gave me, which is standard in our real estate world. We give 25% referral fees, right? So what's funny is I was on a 50% split with my brokerage, because you start low and you work your way up depending how much you sell. So I was on a 50% split. I'm all on my own, I don't need anybody. Now she's feeding me leads and I'm giving call back and I'm giving her a 25% split. There's also a franchise fee in there too. So now looking back, I was actually on like a 24% split for my first year and a half where I was helping her and taking leads. And I never even, like, I wasn't even smart enough to look at that or figure it out. I didn't even care. I never even said, like, I'm only making 24%. Like, are you kidding me? I could be at 100% company. I didn't care because I was so busy. It didn't even matter. And all my friends from school were like, I had 10 deals in escrow my first 6 months of the business. By the way, with another full-time job. Because I was getting that support and help from her. Now at the time they were all short sales, so they didn't close for 3 to 6 months. And again, the average sales price was $80,000. So by the time I got my check, it was a couple $100 for a deal. Maybe, I think I got like a $700 check for a sale. Woohoo! Yeah, I thought it was awesome. So that's something I would encourage you is now that the market's gotten better, you guys have an opportunity. I remember my first $200,000 sale, and it was a $6,000 gross commission check, and I probably made $2,000 or $3,000 from it. And I thought it was like, I thought I hit the lottery. Like I thought, like, thank you, this is amazing. Do you know how much money this is? This is incredible. So you're gonna hear a lot of stories from agents that you meet. My best advice is that you don't get spoiled or you don't get caught up in the percent and the money, because I probably wouldn't still be in the business if I really was on my own. I didn't know what I was doing. Like I literally showed up and it was like, all right, good luck. Like, well, what do? I don't know, just call people, okay, and do what? Like, it's great, you know? And I remember even when I decided not to take her leads anymore because I was ready to focus and do it on my own, and I did start learning how to make calls, and I stared at a phone for like 2 hours, and I wouldn't pick it up. I didn't know what to do. And my broker at the time came out and he was like, yelled at me. He was like, Melissa, pick up the phone. Like literally, like start dialing. What are you doing? And I was like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what I'm doing. And then I finally like he yelled at me and I picked it up and I started calling. And then it was like the wrong number. It was a dial tone. I was like, oh, I was scared to call because like nobody even answered. So I ended up building my business off of lead generation and calling. I moved here from California. I didn't have friends or family here. I didn't have a lot of friends here. You know, so I had no choice but to go out and get in front of people any way that I could. Open houses, door knocking, picking up the phone, calling expireds, calling neighborhoods. It took time. So here I am 9.5 years in, and I would say, I joke that the first couple years I didn't even really take it seriously. I had another job, and we got a puppy, and then I got married, had to plan a wedding. So I joke that I didn't really show up until 2013. It was like, wedding's over, like, let's go. It's go mode. So 2013 is when I truly was like, all right, it's time to become a listing agent. It's time to get involved in coaching. It's time to get involved in really, what am I doing? Like building a real business. So for me, it took a lot of time of like learning and growing up and realizing like mindset. It's what vision do I want for my life? Like I'm a different person today than I was even 6 months ago, let alone 6 years ago. So my passion now is kind of more about the mindset side of things, your beliefs or your thoughts. Are you having negative conversations with yourself, or are you actually like being nice to yourself, being kind to yourself? Like how mean are we to us? Forget other people. Like you're a failure. Like I hear Craig say that, I'm like, so I've been doing this since 2015. Holy crap! Like what the hell am I doing? We have a class that a lot of us are in right now, where there's a bold law that you do have, right? It's who are you being? Who are you becoming? And I don't think I really figured that out. That it's who do I have to become on this journey to achieve the goals that I want? And the last thing I'll say before we move on, or we really will be here all day, and I have appointments, I can't do that, is that it's alignment. So for all of you who are thinking about this career, you're in this career, you're just kind of figuring out what's next, I would say in figuring out like who's going to help me get there, it really is getting in alignment with what you want, what are you trying to achieve, and seriously, who's going to help you get there. Because I was at a company where I hit a wall, and everything I wanted, they were telling me, why would you do that? That's stupid. Also messed with my head of, well, I'm a failure, self-doubt, negative beliefs, right? I want to build this team that runs with or without me. Like, I want to build this, like, I get excited when I talk about it, right? I want to build this thing that, like, operates like a real business. I want to be a real business owner. And I had something happen in my life where I actually had to stop lead gen. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not really running a business. If I stop picking up the phone, I'm out of business. Like, I have 2 full-time employees, an agent who are all relying on me, and if I don't keep this machine going, like, it's gonna fall apart, and it did. And that was a eye-opening, like, not running, I get chills talking about it. I was not running a real business, right? I was on a hamster wheel where I sold my soul to the real estate business, and I was just in this stuck. And you'll see a lot of agents who are there or have been there and know what I'm talking about. So, I reread that book. So I was like, I have a moment to take, I have time now to step back and figure out what I really want. And I read that book before, same thing. I read it and I was like, Gary Keller, I read it, like, it's okay, you know. There's some stuff I like, but I don't agree with most of it. And I was very like, nah, Keller Williams, like, never going there. And then why would I leave a franchise to go to another franchise? So in this time where I had to literally force to step back and figure out what I wanted in life, I reread that book and I was like, oh, I want to be a 7th-level agent. Like, he wrote about it. That's exactly what I want. I want to build this business, and there's people, and here's all the systems and the structure. So when I got clear on what I wanted, which was to build this business, and I read that book, and then I was interviewing a bunch of brokerages, because I did too. I interviewed a ton of companies. And then I was like, who can help me do this? And they're all like, why would you do that?
It's 12 o'clock.
Huh?
My math doctor was.
Oh, I was like, where did that come from? Like, Craig talked forever, I'm allowed to talk. I'm only there, I'm very big on equality. Anyway, so to wrap that all up, when I got clear about what I wanted, there was no one else who could teach me how to do it besides the guy that wrote the book, who I had the opportunity and privilege to meet last month because of relationships with 5 Doors and what we've created. I got to be in a room with Gary Keller. And now, instead of like, oh, this guy, yeah, whatever, really learning what this company is doing, I don't know how anyone is surviving anywhere else because the values and what this company does, I didn't know what an agent-centric company meant. I was at a company that was about the brand, and the value was the name. And you're here, and you're going to succeed because you're with this name that will make you successful. And in my exit interview was also told, good luck being successful because you don't have this name behind you anymore. And I was like, my clients, when I started the Mashat Group, which is my team, my clients were like, congratulations, Melissa, you started your own company, that's so cool. It's like, no, I never left, I just started a team, I'm still at the same brokerage. The clients have no idea what company we're even at, right? So I'm excited you guys are all here and you're learning from the best, and at the same time, it's really about figuring out what you want. Because people will lure you with higher commission, and they'll lure you with the name and the training and the brand. I can tell you, I've been there. No one teaches you how to build an empire, build a life worth living, part of our core values, part of our mission statement, like this company, like KW. So, hope that helps. Hope that's what you were looking for. Kind of went on a tangent.
I just will add this. When I came into real estate, I did come out of corporate America, and I hated it. And the reason I came into real estate is because I had worked for a developer, and we had an investor who was a broker. She tried very hard to get me to come into real estate. She would even take me out to lunch, Give me a glass of wine, take me on a listening appointment, to prove to me it wasn't really sales, because I hated salespeople. And so I went to work for a corporation in San Francisco. I had about 150 employees scattered around Northern California, and I was not happy. And so when I left, I decided that I would get my real estate license as a way of justifying taking time off. I'm a type A personality, as you might guess. And so I did that, got my license, and I knew the first week that I was in the right place. I knew immediately this is where I wanted to be. I gave myself 90 days to see money. And if I didn't see money within 90 days, I had to go get a real job. So every time I didn't feel like knocking on doors was my thing. Every time I didn't feel like doing it, it was okay, Sharon, you don't have to do it. Just get out your resume and be prepared to go get a real job. I didn't want to do that. And so I did see money within 90 days, and then the rest just kind of happened. So this is a business unlike any other, where the amount of effort you make, as long as it's in the correct direction, as long as you apply leverage in the right places, you can do whatever you want. So I agree with the 6 months. In fact, I was shocked when they told me later I was supposed to have 6 months worth of money in the bank, because I sure didn't start with that. I had some stock options from the company, but I didn't have that kind of money, and I was a single mother with a mortgage. So I was highly motivated. So I'm just telling you, you can pretty much do whatever you want. Craig has done in 3 years, almost 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years total,
What?
3 years at KW, yeah.
Right, which it takes a lot of other people a lot longer to do. It's largely a matter of how you view it up here, and then how that translates to your feet. Okay, because in the end, we vote with our feet. That's all I would add.
I think that's very important. How many in this room want to know, like, why we got successful so fast? Like, if I were able to give you our magic pill, like, would that be cool? Okay, so make sure your pen works, make sure you have something to write down, because real estate is what? And it's not easy. So we actually know exactly what we have to do. So, show of hands, Bong, raise your hand. You got into real estate, why?
Investment.
Okay, you want to get investments. Okay, tell me a little bit more about that real quick.
Investment is pretty much in yourself, in the people you sell to, and the value you get out of it. That's how I look at it.
So what I hear you tell me is leverage.
Yeah.
You want to leverage your relationships, you want to leverage a real estate market to generate additional wealth for you and the people around you.
Yeah.
And you'll just do it with investment mentality, investment mindset.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Chevelle, financial freedom, what does that look like?
More time, family, being able to pay for your ultimate dream, like having enough money behind that.
Okay, what's your ultimate dream, if you don't mind sharing?
Well, I'm an R&B singer, so I want to own my own record label and be able to push that money into what I need to do with my recording.
Love that.
Things like that.
Love that. Great. Is this Lois? Bringing together families?
Yeah, bringing family together, sorry, messed up.
Okay.
Yeah, just what it is, you know, it's just, yeah.
Tell me a little more.
Well, you know, I wanna own my own home. I know a lot of family out there that, you know, wants to own their first home. And so if I can be able to do that, you know, that'll be something I want to, you know.
Awesome. Good job. Stability, Lori. Stability, tell me that.
Because I know very little about actual real estate and selling,
Mhm.
the only reference point I have is my parents buying their home. And I think about all of the years of us having our home and the things that we did and people coming to see us and the barbecues on our corner lot and that stability that it provided for our immediate family members. That's what I'm saying.
So I teach a class on rent versus buy, and it is amazing what I hear from people in the market where they talk about, oh, you know what, yeah, it's just so risky to buy a home right now. And the reality is the risk is in not owning a home. Because if the market were to crash tomorrow, you know, we know in 2008 people lost jobs. A lot of people, unemployment was through the roof in 2009, 10, 11. I mean, I remember Obama like kicking that unemployment thing down the road where people were on unemployment for years. People who owned their homes refinanced their mortgages. They got government assistance. They stayed in their homes. They weren't foreclosed upon in 12, 24, 36 months. People that had rentals were given a 5-day eviction notice. nothing else, where's the risk? It's in not knowing your home. Jordan, home.
Has a lot of meanings for me.
Okay.
On one side, it's selling the homes to people,
Okay.
creating a relationship between the agent and them. And then for me, home means a lot of things. It means creating something, a company that I can take like vacations with my family, set up things for my kids, and really just create a home in a career.
Okay. So almost all of you who wrote something down when you came in attributed your level of success by doing something for someone else or because of someone else. So Simon Sinek would call this a why. He would say it's bigger than you by yourself. I'm successful because I realize I have no other option. I have no option to fail. I've failed already in my life several times, and it's not an option anymore. So I'm a cautious person, I'm analytical, and so I am that guy that says, well, I'm gonna dabble in it, I'm gonna put my pinky toe in real estate, and we'll figure out if that's what I wanna get into, and here's all my objections and all the reasons why I'm not gonna do this full time and all that stuff. BS. In bold, we would call it a drunk monkey, because even in real estate, we constantly have this little devil on our head, on our shoulder saying, you're not good enough, you can't do this. Who are you to walk into the lady who's got 40 short sales and say, hey, let me help you? Who are you to have a team? Who are you to grow an empire? Who are you to make $537,000 last year, being only in real estate 3 years? Chew on that for a second. So, it's all about you. And you know what? We fail in real estate because we will not do the dirty work. People fail in business because they will not do the dirty work. I asked you who in the room wanted to be a real estate agent. Some of you raised your hands. I asked you who in the room wanted to be a business owner. A few more raised your hands. An empire builder is the chief, the cook, the bottle washer, and does everything they need to do with a plan to replace themselves. One of the things that stuck out with me the most was Gary Keller. That I didn't understand until way after I came to Keller Williams, I got into real estate, I got into coaching, I got the drunk monkey off my shoulder time and time again. Is that my team's laughing. We have this triangle. And he puts it so well in this book, and he says, everything you do in your business, period. Doesn't matter if it's real estate, doesn't matter if you're a car, if you own a car dealership, doesn't matter if you own a 7-Eleven. Everything starts with you and leads. Everything. A doctor has 2 jobs. A doctor has to lead generate for business, and then a doctor has to service his patients. An attorney has 2 jobs. An attorney must lead generate for business, for clients, and then service his business. A real estate agent has 2 jobs. Must lead generate for their business, and then service their clients. Every business out there. And there's 3 ways that you can lead generate. You could pay for leads, you can be given a lead, or you can do with those of us who are really successful now, you can go out and take a lead. Now, I'm a little nicer, I try to be. I try to say you earn a lead, not to be construed with a referral. When you get so many of these, that you're burying yourself and you're not answering your door, and you're saying, you know what, I'm just servicing my banks. I can't service these people. I've determined, I got clarity in my business. In the case of her, her listing agent when she got into real estate, I'm going to service my banks and their needs because that's where my money is. You have too many leads. And then you get into fine-tuning what your job is. We call it the 20%. Right up there, 20% of your efforts on the second poster will equate to 80% of your results. We start getting clear. And we say, you know what, I'm gonna focus on the business that's gonna generate more business. And then when you have so much business that now generates more business, the almighty, you have now risen, you now can grow a team and focus on leverage. So Craig got into real estate, he did 33 transactions his first year without anybody else's help. He generated a lot of leads. My team was successful because they were hungry, they understood the value of the lead, and they were calling those leads, and the leads were ready to buy and sell, and they made money relatively quickly. So Craig went from lead generating himself and being really good at it, to focusing his attention on things that would generate additional leads, to then saying, well, I'm gonna bring on a team, and they're gonna focus on leads. And then they're going to narrow their focus, and then they're gonna get into leverage, and history repeats itself, and your business grows and grows and grows. It's really simple. But here's the thing. Most people will walk away today understanding this concept. They're like, yeah, I get it. And most people will fail because they won't do the dirty work. They won't do the dirty work. So, the numbers, why agents fail in real estate. You will not prospect or lead generate. In my business, with my team, we have an 8:45 show up, we have a 9 a.m. huddle call where everybody gets on the phone and we run our numbers, and there's a lot of zeros. There's a lot of zeros.
Especially right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of zeros. And you know what? Because we know our numbers, we get a 1, we get a 2, we get a 4. We get a, I lead generated 3 hours today, and I had 155 contacts, and I set 2 appointments, and I held 1. And then after that, they go and they script practice every single day. And after script practice, they lead generate for a minimum of 120 minutes every single day. And then they do an hour of follow-up every single day. And then by 12:30, they're done in their business, and now they're working on their life. They're working on, do I service my clients? They're working on their empire. What does that look like? Are they going on appointments? Are they writing offers? Are they showing homes? Are they looking at inventory? Are they doing open houses? Are they door knocking? Are they getting ready for an open house for the weekend? Are they on the phone, circle prospect? Whatever that is. And by the team holding the agents accountable every single day, they build this wonderful thing called a habit. Gary Keller wrote this awesome book, and I'm out of it. It's called The One Thing. I don't have any of it here. That's when I got clear. Holy crap, I can be really successful in real estate if I just focus on a couple of things. I get agents that, love them to death. They are my clients. I give them my time, my heart, my energy, but I am real with them. I'm not their brother, I'm not their sister, I'm not their father, I'm not their mother. Some of them think I am. But I just get real with them, and we have some intense conversations because they hired me to hold them accountable. I am their servient leader. And so I bring this up and I say, why are you not successful? Did you lead generate today? Well, I'm on my car, and I'm my kid, and okay, I got it. Did you lead generate today? Yes, I did. Did you lead generate twice as much today to make up for yesterday? Well, they won't follow up. I'm telling you, that's where the money's at. I have a database of 22,000 people. 22,000 people. Gary Keller says, if you just focus on 260 of them, you'll make $1 million. What? What do I do with the rest of them? You let bad experiences bring you down. Well, I lead gen once, and this guy was on the phone. He said he was gonna hunt me down and go to my house, and he was gonna pull out a machete. I said, did you ask him if he wanted to sell his house before he went to prison? You let bad experiences get in the way. Man, I have lost everything. I have lost it all. $100,000 out of my bank account in one night. One night. Bad business deal. Bad business deal. You think real estate is hard and won't work hard enough? Yeah. That's probably what most of my new agents get into. It's tough, man. It's intense. I work 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday. I intend to take Sunday off. And you know what? If I work Sundays, I work Sundays. If my agent needs me, if my agent's clients need me, I'm there. But my family knows, 8 p.m., you better ask our permission. 8:01, we're in Lowe's, my phone rings. I get those evil looks. Are you gonna answer that? Can I? Are they gonna buy? Are they pre-qualified? That's the new thing. Are they pre-qualified? Can they buy? I'm really clear. I'm really clear in my world. You say it's too competitive. How many people in real estate?
16,000 plus.
Yeah, 16,000 plus. Do I care?
No.
Melissa, do you care? Don't care. You shouldn't either. Because let me tell you, if you're lead generating, 87% of all those people aren't. 87% are not lead generating. And if you are lead generating, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and half a day on Thursdays, you're not creating a habit. As soon as life gets in the way, as soon as the car breaks down, as soon as a family friend comes into town, you're like, okay, I'm not gonna lead you today. I love it when one of my agents, when I walk in, because I'm a high D, so I want what I want when I want it. I walk in, I'm like, hey, when you get a chance, can you? Yeah, after my lead gen. Damn. Sorry, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, we're going through that right now where our team is growing at such an exponential rate that they're starting to buck back. They're saying, you know what, too many people are talking. Too many people are walking in and wanna like share recipes. And I'm watching it going, this is the best. When they're starting to police themselves, saying, no, we want something big here. Get out of our office, let us lead you.
You can take 4 years to figure that out, or you can just do it from the beginning.
Yeah.
You see the time difference, right? I didn't choose to make lead gen a habit until 4 years after getting my license.
Yeah.
So I was busy. I had business.
So our office, and I don't talk a lot about this because it's not as relevant for you all, but I came into Keller Williams spending probably $2,500 a month to Zillow on internet buyer leads. And I remember sitting down with Terry Brinkus. Who in the room knows who Terry Brinkus is? So Terry and Rick Brinkus are the top team in Nevada. Rick and Terry Brinkus are in the MREA from 20 years ago. Terry is a MAPS coach, which in the world of real estate, a MAPS coach is probably the top 10% of all coaches worldwide. Not just anybody can be a MAPS coach. Like, they have to go, it's intense, it's tough, and you have to be approved and accepted to be a MAPS coach. And so we even have somebody in the room who is a MAPS coach. She'll raise her hand just to say hi. There you go. So if you get a chance, say hello. So Terry owns our market center, and she also owns the Green Valley. Now Rick, her husband, will close about 450 transactions this year. What? Yeah, 450 transactions this year. And I did a mastermind with Terry about 3 years ago, and we were talking about financials. And she's like, who in the room pays for lead gen? And I'm like, yeah, I got Z written right here. I got Premier Agent. I'm like, I'm all in with Zillow. Boom. She says, all right. What is your conversion rate? And I knew that. And I'm like, here's my conversion rate. She's like, great. And what is your cost per close? I'm like, well, I mean, it costs me roughly $2,500 a month. I'm getting about somewhere between 100 and 200 leads, and I'm probably 1 into 25 that I can set for an appointment. And, you know, over 6 months, maybe I'm closing 4 or 5 deals. And she says, okay, so do the math, average purchase price. So you're somewhere between $1,000 and $3,000 per lead to close. I'm like, well, when you put it that way, she says, why don't you just get your ass on the phone? You got the right personality. You can close more people in half the amount of time, lower your cost, and increase your profitability. And I'm like, yeah, but you know, I got my team, I'm drunk monkey. About 6 months later, I started lead gen. I actually sat and listened to someone lead gen. I'm like, well, nobody ripped through the phone and took his head off. And I started doing it, and I was really good at it. And here's what I didn't realize. When I was at the law firm, I used to pay for internet buyer leads. And they'd call up, and they'd be like, hey, my son got arrested last night, DUI, we need an attorney. I'm like, yeah, come on in, bring $5 grand. Minimum $5 grand part. They'd come in, they'd sit down, they'd be like, yeah, we have no money. And I would convert them. Because that was my job. And so I'd be like, okay, well, do you have family, do you have friends, do you have anybody, who can help you? Because, your son's in jail and we need to get him out. So, can we do this? Or somebody would come in and say, I need a divorce, whatever. Use whatever term. We were trial attorneys, so we did a lot of high-level criminal family law. What I didn't realize is I had a transferable skill when I got into real estate. And I was really good at listening to people and their issues and overcoming their objections. But what I didn't realize is that I had been doing it for 13 years, and it was natural. It was easy. But my limiting belief was, well, I'm in real estate now, and who am I? Like, I don't know anything about real estate. No. I had learned in about 2 months, these people already want to buy and sell a home. They've already raised their hand and said, we're interested. We might have had a bad situation. We might have had a bad experience. We may not have liked our agent. We may not think you're worth what you're worth. And so we're just going to throw some objections out. Like her, the 2 hours staring at the phone, and then all of a sudden, I didn't get murdered through the phone line. And the beginning of the rest of my life began. And so now my team are 100% prospectors, and we trickle in some buyer leads, and we trickle in open houses, and we trickle in some door knocking and referrals. 56% of our business last year was people that we've never had a relationship with. The book will call it have-not-nots. 44% was past and repeat clientele. I refuse to make the same mistake twice.
Chef on the Road is here. If anyone would like lunch, Chef on the Road.
Sharon said, and we're going to feed you, so hang out. Sharon said earlier that top producers will adjust. I don't know what I'm doing in the next 12 months. Do you know what you're doing in the next 12 months? Like, do you have a clear vision? But here's what we do know. We align ourselves with people that are doing what they're doing at a level that we want to get to. So she talked about she's in alignment with Seth Campbell, who I have a gazillion amount of respect for. Seth is somebody I watch, he's somebody I follow, and I'm fortunate to coach with a gentleman by the name of Jason Abrams. She used to coach with Jason's business partner, Brian Gubernack. These are top 10 producers in Gary Keller's personal mastermind. They're also top 100 in the country. Somebody asked me once, they said, if you were able to go back and do something different, I said here, I don't want to make the same mistake twice. Somebody said, if you could go back and do something differently, what would you do? And I said, I'd join a team. I did this on my own, and now it costs me $5,000 a month. My coach is $5 grand a month so that my team can learn what they need to know so that I'm not the person sitting there tomorrow saying, I don't know what we should do, but let's just do it. No. Like, I'm extremely analytical, and I look down that road as far as I can, and I'm coaching with people that tell me what tomorrow will bring. Now I'm not going to do it yet, I'm gonna do it later. You choose comfort over success. Like, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Real estate is a constantly moving ball, constantly. And we talked about it in the very beginning. Tomorrow, it's gonna be about technology enabling an agent, or it's gonna be about an agent enabling technology. What side are you on? I decided I'm not gonna be in business with Zillow. And I made so much more money as soon as I got out of business with them. So much more money. Doesn't mean I don't do ad spend. It doesn't mean that I don't pay for pay-per-clicks. Doesn't mean that I don't have Facebook ads and social media presence. I do, but I'm in control of the outcome. I'm in control of what I spend and what I do. You will not make it a team sport. Truly successful people do not succeed alone. And you can go back to musicians, you can go back to sports, you can go back to medicine, you can go back to any industry, any individual who you think is up there, they're your icon, they're your mentor. They will be the first one to tell you that they did not do it alone. I cannot do what I do alone. I have a team of amazing people that get my ass out of bed every morning. Every single morning. I get up at 5 o'clock, 4:30, 3:30. There has been so many times that I'm turning on the lights and I'm excited. And I'm like, wish I would have gotten here a little later. Starbucks doesn't open for another 2 hours. But I'm excited to come to work. Like, I'm excited to help my team. I'm excited to go through the drama and the passion and the cries and the successes. I had an agent on my team that suffered before he joined the team for a year. And he joined the team and he had lots of reservations and he was an independent mindset. And I remember him calling me the second he handed the keys to his clients, his first closing. And he says, now I know why I'm in real estate. And I still get goosebumps, my blood starts flowing. He handed those keys to somebody who has never bought a home before. And he looked at that mother and her daughter, single mom, handed him the keys. They had written multiple offers on multiple homes. They had a very narrow price point that they could buy in. And this was his first closing, and he's like, oh my God, wow. And I said, you know what, you will be successful in real estate because you made it not about you. And he's closed like 10 to 12 deals since then. You have a short-sighted outlook. Think long, man. Think long and deep. We talked about in the beginning, what's your exit plan? Why are you getting real estate? There are so many other businesses you can get into and be successful. And work half the amount, have half the stress, have a constant paycheck. Be really clear why you're in real estate. It's a hustle. It's a grind. And if you agree to that, you come to terms with that, you will be successful. Most people don't want to make it a grind. Most people don't want to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You focus on the expenses instead of growing your sphere. I spend a buttload of money. Damn right I do. It costs money to be successful in real estate. When it's all said and done, I take home somewhere between 22 and 31%. You want to know who really gets the shaft when it comes to focusing on net profitability? Me. You know why? Because I'm in growth mode. I am in a position in my business where I am putting everything back into the business. Because I have a plan of being out of my real estate business when?
A year and 4 months?
Year and 4 months. April. 2 years from now. I'm done. See ya. Good luck. Let me know how I can help. Because Gary Keller says that that is the true definition of a 7th level real estate business. I already have a real estate team in Michigan. I already have an expansion team that's working to go into San Diego. I have an expansion team that's working to go to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. Like, this is one part of a really big puzzle for me. Do you have that level of clarity? You get into business for the wrong reasons. How many in this room remember the 2 reasons why I got into real estate business? And I have gifts, if you can remember. How many would like the book?
Oh.
What was one?
Money.
Money. Good job. What was the other reason? You can't answer.
To show home.
No. No. What was the other reason I got into real estate?
Give people,
Nope.
helping people.
Nope.
Helping.
Didn't you say help people? You did say.
And you weren't even here when I said that. Were you?
No, I
Okay.
really was.
Have I already given you an MREA
No,
book?
we talked the other day when you were.
Oh, insider information. Yeah.
You told us that.
Yeah. So,
You
to
said
help
you were-
people.
You weren't selfish.
Like, I'm really clear on why I get up in the morning. I'm really clear. I was in the law firm for 13 years. The greatest thing I learned about being in law was I have to account for my hours and I have to bill the poor sucker that needs our help. And it's not about them at all. It's never about the client in a law firm. I'm sorry to say. The only people who win in law is the attorneys. And I had to bill at $250 an hour. So when I got into real estate, I knew my value was $250 an hour. And so I knew I had to make more than that in real estate. That level of clarity. You don't save enough money to live on. We talked about it, I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. $3,000 plus your 6-month living expenses, unless you get into business with someone, and we're gonna end the conversation with that. You sell real estate part-time. So part-time could be a mindset. Don't set goals or have an action plan in place. When am I out of real estate? In a year and 4 months. Make no mistake, it was a 5-year plan. So I intend to be opening up a real estate business in Tampa. I intend to be an operating principal in a market center. And I intend to be doing 6 months a year out of the country. You don't set goals or have action plans in place. You don't understand how or where to market yourself. How many of you in this room, by show of hands, have a database? Great. How many of you in this room have a cell phone? Great. How many of you in this room who have a cell phone have an iPhone? Fantastic. Open up your iPhones, go to contacts, scroll all the way to the bottom, and the person with the largest number at the bottom wins. Go ahead.
Do we count?
You have to go down to the bottom.
Go to contacts, scroll all the way to Z, and whoever has the most amount of contacts wins. 628. Who has more than 628?
That's not even.
2,800.
Huh?
2,800.
2,800. Who has more than 2,800? 1233.
It should be right there, I'm not sure.
Huh?
I'm not sure why.
2,100.
Maybe just
Who
because
else?
that's it's a different system than the rest of them.
So-
134.
No reason.
So, by show of hands, who in the room has a database? Pass that back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
National Association of Realtors says that your highest opportunity for business is people you already know, like, and trust. And Gary Keller says that if you have 260 people in your database that you systematically touch on a 36 touch, which is 36 touches a year, that you will do $1 million in net GCI. Did you all just learn something? So when you're in real estate, in my team, and probably Melissa's for that, because we are from the same path, the first thing you're doing is putting everybody into the database so that the team can have great conversations with people who you don't have the balls to do that with yet. I don't want to call my mom. I don't want to call a friend that I haven't talked to in a year. Great, we'll do it for you. We'll call them for you. We'll give them a lot of value. You believe that being successful in real estate is easy. Real estate is simple, and it's not easy. You're difficult to work with, yeah. Got it. It's a personality business. You have to be likable. You have to be approachable. We all have little demons in our closet. I am a low I. I do not like to actually talk to people. I know. I'm in my own den. People are like, what? You've been talking for an hour and a half. And it's not. I actually do not enjoy chit chat. Yep. But when I'm in my own space, when I'm in my den, and you're a guest, absolutely I'll run the room. But I do not enjoy going out and networking with people. I'll tell you I'm coming. I won't. You're only interested in real estate and not committed. I'm going to ask that question in a minute. You're not strategic or have a business plan. You fear mistakes and have a desire to look good. Get real with people. People want to do business with people that they know, like, and trust. They want to relate to you. They want to know that you've had failures. They want to know that you've been successful. They want to know everything in between. You have no or the wrong role models. I know everybody on the back of this page which are top producing agents at Keller Williams. Oh, and we're not talking just, this is $3.1 million in gross commission income, $640,000 in gross commission income in a quarter. Yeah, this is a quarter, by the way. Oh, look at this. Yep, 5 Doors is on here. Ben Kinney team, the Loken Group. So $3.787 million in gross commission income, 486 units closed. I know who all these people are. I make it my point. Why? Why is it so important to know what these guys are doing? Because I have the opportunity to stand on the shoulder of giants, and I have the opportunity at their expense to learn from them. They already paid the money, or they already lost, they already fumbled and failed and did whatever it is they were gonna do, and they figured it out. Real estate is about R&D. It's all about R&D. Who knows what that means? Raise your hand if you know what it means. R&D, not on my team. R&D.
Research and development?
Okay, close. No, that's what everybody outside would think it is. Who else?
Relationship.
Nope. R&D. R&D. Come on, R&D.
Return on demand?
I'm doing everything that I read in a book. I'm listening to my coach. I'm following models that somebody else put into place. My team and I are going through Shift book, which was written in 2008. Rip off and
Copy.
duplicate.
Copy and paste.
I'm finding people that I can align myself with, that I relate to, and I'm saying, what are you doing? How are you doing it? What happened when you did it this way? What happened when you did it this way? And I'm applying that to my business. Guys, I'm not that smart. I'm not. But the one thing God gave me is the opportunity to look at other people and say, well, he's successful, why? And cut through the BS. Like, I'm really good. I don't need you to sit here and, and coach me on my mindset all day long. I'll get my ass out of bed myself. I need you to help me take 12 hours a day and be extremely productive. Extremely productive. That's what I need you to do. How do I turn 12 hours a day into 24 hours and still be able to sleep, and still be able to have family time, and still be able to take 35 days on vacation in the middle of the ocean where my business does $100,000 in GCI? You open your eyes, you open your business one day a week. Yeah, I'm in my business 6 days a week, and on Sundays by appointment only. And everybody in my world knows that. Is Melissa that clear in her business? Yeah. Are you going to be that clear in your business? Like, you want to work three hours a day, 3 days a week? That's cool. Yes, I'd love to help you buy and sell a home. Hey, listen, come over to my office. We're going to sit down. We're going to have a buyer's consultation. We're going to go through my hours, my availability, my team. We're going to talk about the market. We're going to talk about your needs and wants. We're going to get really clear so we can go and find your home that afternoon. Why don't you book 3 hours? We're going to spend an hour in the office. We're going to spend 2 hours going and looking at the top 4 homes so we can write an offer. When people say, oh, I went and showed 18 homes over a week, I'm like, what? Excuse me? You're the real estate expert. How come you don't know about the inventory? Are they coming to you with Zillow going, well, Zillow, there's no, yeah, you let them, they're going to think there's another home all day long. They're never going to buy a home. You have weekly banker hours. Oh, I work 9 to 5 under real estate, yeah. I'm sorry, guys, real estate is a lifestyle. That client wants you available when they want you available, and you better be clear on when you're available to them. You have no sales swagger. How many in the room, by show of hands, have a background in sales? Less than half the room. And you'll go sell some homes? Seriously? So what are you doing to become a great salesperson? Mine was a limiting belief, because I thought it was slangy and sleazy and nasty to be a salesperson, because that's a negative connotation of, consumers. No, the truth is I'm an amazing salesperson. I'm the best salesperson I know, because I do it for the right reasons. It's all about you. When I sit down with somebody for the very first time, and my team will back this up, the first thing out of my mouth is, it's such a pleasure to meet you, Craig Tippie. what gives me the honor to sit here and meet you today. Tell me your story. Why are we here? And I sit back and I shut up. Most people will tell me everything I want to know and then some. Tell me more about that. That's exciting. Wow. When did that happen? How does that make you feel now? Are you basing a decision today on buying a home because of that situation? Like, I sit down, I shut up, and I listen. How can I help somebody if I'm doing all the talking? You know, these people walk in and they buy a home, or these people walk into a listing appointment like, it's so exciting, I'm so happy to see you, great, I'm excited to sell your home. So this is gonna be fantastic. Yeah, the market's gonna love your home, and this is gonna be great. So we're gonna price it $240,000, even though it's probably worth $275,000, because they want a quick check, because the mortgage is due. And they never stop to say, is selling your home a good thing or a bad thing? And how can I help you through that? I would gauge that 40% of all sellers are selling the home because they have to, not because they want to. You have no metrics, facts, goals. I know, man, I know what the market's doing, I know what agent's doing, I know how much an agent makes, I know how much buyer makes, how much a seller makes. I'm doing the math. I'm excited about the metrics of real estate. Like, it's a numbers game to me. Are we going up? Are we going down? Are we going sideways? What's happening? You have a poor schedule. How many in this room have a calendar that they do every day, every week, every month, that they religiously live by? Show of hands. Religiously, like, yeah. How many do a calendar every single week and have great intentions of holding to that calendar? Show of hands. And everybody on my team should be raising their hand. Yeah. How can you service your business if you don't even know your hours? How can you service your family if they don't know your hours? You lack financial management. Everything that goes up comes down. It's real estate is relative. Just because you get the $10,000 commission check does not mean that you get to spend it. So, how many in this room, by a show of hands, are interested in a career of real estate? Half the room. How many in this room, by show of hands, are committed to a successful career in real estate? Almost the same people. And who in this room knows the difference? Tell me the difference. Interested versus committed.
You can be interested in a job, but doesn't necessarily mean that you'll put in work for it.
Yeah.
To be committed for it, you will go and show up every day, do your work, learn, determined, and that's what I plan on doing. So I know the difference between being interested and committed, and I am certainly both.
Who else is committed? Okay, so you, good? Yeah, real estate is simple, it's not easy. It's a hustle, it's a grind. Who in the room thinks they understand what the real estate agent's job description is? It's really simple. A real estate agent's job description is, first and foremost,
Lead generate.
lead generate. Second,
Lead follow-up.
lead follow-up. Third,
Go on appointments.
who said that? Oh, well, of course.
She's like, who is this?
Go on appointments.
Yeah, right.
Fourth,
Negotiate contracts.
negotiate because we're real estate agents, we have a fiduciary duty to negotiate contracts. And last but not least, and often forgotten and missed, don't give it away. It's the second thing we do every single morning, 5 days a week on my team. Role play. Script practice, role play, real play. Why do we role play? Yeah,
To be prepared,
okay. Be prepared. Why else do we role play?
get the jitters out.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Yes, so you're on the path to mastery, self-mastery and then mastery. Polish. Overcome objections. If you're in a room of people who are all going through the same thing and are all talking to the same type of people about the same types of things, isn't it pretty cool that you can say, wow, yesterday I had this really challenging person on the phone and this was the objection and I couldn't overcome it, and you go to script practice the next morning and you're like, ring, ring, hi, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no, I've got a dog with 3 heads and this is the only house that has 2 doors side by side where the dog can walk into both rooms at the same time, so I can't sell. And you're like, how do I overcome that objection? Because that's a new one. And you can role play that. Man, I'm telling you, I've heard some doozies.
Find a house with French doors.
Little French doors.
Oh,
So,
right.
yeah. So in my world, this is my agent's job. This is their job every day, and my job is to develop. That's it, that's my job. I get paid $500,000 a year to help my agents go through these 3. That's it. That's all I have to do. I get up and I say, what are your numbers? Great, what did you do yesterday? Great, what did you not do yesterday? Great, are you gonna do what you didn't do yesterday today? Great, what needs to change in your personal life so that you can develop your business so that you can go back and help your kids? And I just go through self-discovery with all my agents. And then I say, great. So yesterday you didn't set any appointments. Why don't you think you set any appointments? How long were you on the phone? Who did you talk to? Where did you get the scripts? What were the conversations you had? Did you put them in your database? Blah, 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 blah. And then, how many appointments did you say? How many appointments did you go on? Did you convert those appointments? Did you follow up on those appointments? Did you do the activities that we know allows us to have a great life? And I rinse and repeat, and I rinse and repeat, and I rinse and repeat. Like, my job is really simple. But I had to master this. I had to master that. So if you take nothing away today, understand, the only successful people in real estate are people that lead gen. The only successful people in real estate have figured out how to systematically lead follow-up. The only successful people in real estate know it's all about appointments. Everything they do is about an appointment. The only successful in real estate know how to negotiate, and that becomes harder now than it was 3 months ago because we were here, now we're here. And last but not least, they role play every single day. Think about it, doctors and attorneys, they have the same license that you have. They are bound by the same business and industry entity, state of Nevada, that you're bound by. And you are managed by different entities. You're managed by the Greater Las Vegas Association of Realtors, the Real Estate Division, the Nevada Association of Realtors, the National Association of Realtors. You actually have governing bodies on you, making sure that you don't defraud clients more than an attorney or a doctor. The only difference is that they spent $150,000 and 8 years to learn to do what they do, and you spent $3,000 and 90 hours to learn what you do. You are going to learn for the rest of your life. They're going to rinse and repeat what they've already learned. But make no mistake, you are all doctors and attorneys. Act like it, dress like it, show up like it, and take care of your clients like that. Yes.
So, Craig is 100% correct. That is a real estate agent's job, are those 5 things. So, if you just take away anything from this, and you just know that, okay, if I'm gonna get into real estate, that's my job, and any minute I'm not doing one of those 5 things, you are not getting paid. The other really fascinating thing, if you move role play to actually, like, part of number 1, lead gen role play, that's our skill. So, if you don't have any contracts to negotiate, that means you're not going on enough appointments. you don't have enough appointments to go on, that means you're probably not following up with your leads. And if you're not following up with your leads because you don't have any leads, then you're not lead generating enough. So it literally goes in that order of if you just lead gen and learn how to lead gen and learn how to follow up, all of a sudden you're gonna have leads to follow up with. Then all of a sudden you're gonna have appointments to go on. Now all of a sudden you're gonna have contracts to negotiate, and you're like, oh my gosh, like it literally falls. To me, it's fascinating when someone pointed that out. That if you're like, I don't have any appointments, I don't know what's going on. Okay, well, did you actually do your lead gen and follow up? The answer is usually no. And when we say lead gen, it's talking to people. Just get out in front and talk to people. You can choose people you know, people you don't know, right? It's your choice. Do you want to make it harder or easier? Which way do you want to go? Some people choose to talk to strangers because they don't want to talk to people they know. Great. You're ready to do, it'll take 2, 3, 4 times as long. Doesn't mean you can't do it.
Yeah.
So that list right there, like we're not exaggerating. It is, I can't tell you how many people get into the business. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to people, I'm gonna lead gen, no problem. Okay, great, here's the phone, get ready. You know, if I got face to face with them, I would do better. So I'm gonna go door knocking, I'm gonna go do open houses, and I'm gonna just go get face to face instead. Great. Then they get out face to face, how did it go? No one really came through, nothing really happened. Okay, like everyone's looking for the path of least resistance, it's human nature, and I can't stress enough how important it is to just get out and talk to people. Like anytime I fly anywhere, I can't get away from it. I'm sleeping on the plane and the person next to me is like, you're in real estate? I'm looking to buy a house in Las Vegas, or we're moving there in 2 years. I'm like, I'm in pajamas and I just want to take a nap. Like, we talk about that later, you know? I'm not in my uniform. Like, so the point is, that's what he's talking about. Like, it's really that simple. Those are the 5 things. What is it?
That's why I'm in real estate.
Reasons or results, you can't have that.
Yeah.
So just know that I've sat in front of people, I got this, I'm gonna hustle, I got my drive, I'm ready, I have no problem talking on the phone, talking to people is easy, I'm from customer service, this is great. Perfect, here's our schedule, here's when you show up, you gotta practice your scripts. I don't really like scripts. Okay, let's talk more about that, right?
They sound fake.
They sound fake, they don't sound like me. Okay, so we have a process for that, right? Great, now get on the phone. Well, nobody answered the phone today, all these numbers are wrong. Oh, did you think every number we have is right? Like, what, did we say that we have 1,000 numbers and they're all like the perfect number? It's part of the process. You go knock on a door, nobody's home. Well, no one answered. Okay, did you knock on enough doors to find someone who was actually home? Well, I just did it for an hour and then I saw it. Like, you have to understand, I'm trying to give you real life what we hear every single day, right? I'm not exaggerating. So you can either, like to me, if no one was home, like we just kept going. Or no one was answering the phone, so I kept dialing. Or I switched who I was calling. So you have 2 types of people I find in this business, and it's exactly what he wrote on the board. The ones who are like, I'm gonna just make it happen, because I'm committed. And then you have the other ones who are like, well, it didn't really work today, so like I'm gonna go home and like, I'll be back tomorrow. Okay, I had to get, like I needed money. Like I have bills to pay. There was no like, I'll try again tomorrow. Maybe more people will answer. I'm gonna go door knock a different neighborhood. Maybe more people will be home. You know, I'm gonna go do a networking event and get face to face with people. I have people on my team doing that right now.
Great.
We're gonna do networking events. Okay.
How many people are you gonna talk to? How many people are gonna add to your phone? And you can only give out a business card if you add their name, phone number, email address to your phone and send them something. And how many business cards are you going to take with you? And I expect you to come back with no business cards. You can have reasons or results, but you can't have both. So I got into real estate with a 5-year plan. I said I'm going to make $1 million net GCI in 5 years and I'm out. And that business is going to fund something else. I'm going to retire early. Like I'm very clear on what I'm doing in real estate. So I don't care about the purchase price of homes. I don't care about the market shifting. Nothing changes for me. Nothing changes. Now, as the market is shifting, I started to think, wow, this is no longer a, you call me, I show home, you write offer, we close deal. Like, as a real estate agent, things are shifting. And I said something to my coach last week, 2 weeks ago, almost 3 weeks ago. I said, there's a lot of brokerages out there that are promising things. And I'm not sure that they're going to be able to deliver. However, I'm growing my team. I need net 25 agents by the end of the year, and I'm not taking no for an answer. And I'm a little concerned what's gonna happen with Amazon and Zillow and all this stuff that's going on in the market. And I got people who want the answers. And he goes, have you ever met Gary Keller? I'm like, no. He said, have you ever talked to him? Like, he's an amazing man. He is the Steve Jobs of real estate. Have you ever talked to him? I'm like, no. I saw him on stage in front of 18,000 agents. My goal was never to meet Gary Keller. Because up until last year, I didn't understand the value of Gary Keller. I just thought he was brilliant. He surrounded himself around a lot of brilliant people. I'm flying to Austin on Thursday, and I have an appointment at 1 o'clock on Friday with Gary Keller. And I'm really excited about that. And I have a list of things that I'm going to talk to Gary Keller about. Put that in perspective for a minute. I never valued the guy. I never valued what he does for real estate. And as the market's shifting, everybody's looking at Gary Keller. And they're saying, you're making some waves. You're telling people what they don't want to hear. And I am so excited to sit down for 1 hour. Who in this room remembers what my hourly value is? So I'm very analytical, and I thought, all right, this guy has 170,000 real estate agents. It's the largest real estate company in the world. It's the largest technology company in the world. By the way, we're not even a real estate company. We're a technology company. We're the #1 place to work for in America. #2 is Nike. I did the math. He's worth $40,000 an hour, in my opinion. Do not think that I'm not going to walk into his office and say, I know we only have an hour, and in my opinion, Mr. Keller, you're worth about $40,000, and I'm only worth $250. So I'm going to make sure that I get $250 for my time and $40,000 for yours. Like, what does that do? Because he's probably going to sit in that room and go, okay, I'm here. I'm all ears. Got an hour. What do you want to talk about? So, real estate is all about you. It's all about your clarity. Clarity is power. People who don't succeed in real estate because they turn left and then they turn right and then they go backwards and then they go forwards. Really successful people in real estate understand it's all about lead gen. Understand it's all about follow-ups. Understand, it's 1 o'clock. They also understand that this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. History in real estate repeats itself over and over and over and over and over again. Sharon, you've been in the business 40 years. Has that much really changed?
Actually, no. Very little has actually changed. Technology has added a dimension, but the way I did real estate when I started 41 years ago is the same way we're still doing real estate, which is why I don't care about Amazon or Zillow or any of those people, because I'm going to tell you what, people buy people. And we're going to be hard pressed to find a situation where somebody's going to invest in something as important as a home, whether they're buying or selling, without having someone there that can advise them. And a computer can't do that, because a computer doesn't know their individual situation. And we are not cookie cutter as human beings. All families have different situations. And so they need agents who can advise them and support them in doing what they want to do, which is really what our job is. Our job is to help them do what they want to do, and if we help enough of them, then we can do what we want to do.
Right. So write this down and we're done. Morning routine. Have a morning routine. Have it every day. Do the same thing every day. Life will thank you for that. Affirmations. What you say to yourself is what you're going to do. You wake up and you say, I'm going to try to be better today. Guess what? That's the extent of what you're going to do. You're going to try. And in our world, there is no try. There is no try. We don't even have it in our vocabulary. We correct each other when somebody says try. Create a daily action plan. Stick to it. Get up knowing you have purpose that day. Get motivated. And then start your business. Lead generate. Role play. Who are you going to call? You're brand new in the business. You don't want my help. You don't want Melissa's help. You're that independent mindset. I'm going to do this on my own. I'm going to get successful. Then you better focus on these 3 things. And you better do it habitually every single day. You all have a database. Call expireds, FSBOs, make me moves. They've already raised their hand. They want to be in business. Call 10 people you know and ask if they would like a free home evaluation or if they'll help you with a problem. follow up with all of your leads. Learn your inventory, learn your market. Where are we today? What is the average cost of a home? What is the median purchase price? What is our inventory? Do you know our inventory is up 77% since January 1st? 77%. Learn about real estate. I just threw that up there. Keeping Current Matters. It's online, it's free, it's great. Study hot sheets. How many homes hit the market? How many went under contract? How many withdrew? How many were expireds? Know what's happening. We did 1,000, almost 1,100 price adjustments last week. They were not overpriced homes. They weren't. They just were priced incorrectly. Hold at least 2 open houses per week. Attend at least 2 open houses of other agents. Everybody in this room right now, if you listened and you took notes, knows exactly what you need to do to be successful. You know exactly what you need to do. And contrary to popular belief, it's all about you. Are you willing to put the time in? Are you willing to put the effort in? Are you willing to align yourself with somebody who can change the trajectory of your success? I will pay money all day long for somebody who can let me get it in half the amount of time with the least amount of obstacles. I will pay for that. Is that what you're willing to do? So on behalf of Keller Williams Marketplace One, Team Tiffy, thank you all so much for being a great audience. We are going to go out into the bullpen, have some lunch. We have Mark's, I think I have a slide there. There we go. We have Marcus Goodwin with Vegas Inspect. Marcus has taken care of lunch for us today.
Yes, sir. And the founder of the feast.
Oh, hi, how are you?
I'm great.
Great, who are you?
I'm Charles Pulford.
I never get a chance to see Charles unless it's in passing. So Charles was my first home inspector on the first home that I ever closed. And Charles is the owner of Vegas Inspect. So who you work with matters. And when it comes to real estate, our partners are everything to us. And the reason why is because they look out for us, they look out for our client, they look out for the market. They're really quick to come in the case of inspectors, they're really quick to say, hey, listen, I was at the home with your buyer, and they have a concern about this. This is what I told them. You might want to follow up with them. Like, who doesn't want that valuable information? Because we all have a goal of making sure that the client gets what they want. And so by having partners that really look out for your business interest, they will do the same thing, and we reciprocate that. So I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for taking care of our clients. Thanks for taking care of our team. And thanks for taking care of the food for our audience today. Spend some time to talk to them. Get a chance. Because maybe you don't want to be in real estate. Maybe you don't want to be an agent. Maybe you want to be a home inspector. Maybe you want to be an escrow officer. Maybe you want to be an appraiser. Okay, real estate has a lot of opportunity.
This business, like, it's amazing the opportunities that have opened for just learning how to sell. I want to say that earlier too. When you learn how to become a great salesperson, you can literally do that in any industry. When you learn these systems and models, you can take that and apply it to any business. So it not just changes who you are in your life, like let this be the catalyst for getting you to where you want to go. So yeah, like my dream is, be a coach, be a consultant type thing, right? Leader, like exactly what you said, mindset, skills, action, teaching that to my people. I didn't get into real estate thinking that was even an option. I didn't even know coaching existed. Like I was so clueless to anything in this industry. So it's an amazing world that we're playing in, and literally there is no ceiling. Like you can create whatever you want to create within it. So you just got to do the work and let the journey take you there. You may not even know what it is today, right? It's been a journey for sure.
Closing comments?
Get to know us. Take the time to talk to us. We all have slightly different perspectives of business. I've been in a long time, seen a lot of different things, done a lot of different things. Get to know us. Take the time to talk to us. That's why we're here. We want to get to know you and find a place that fits, because there's a place for everybody. And all of you have clients out there just waiting for you to find them. The trick is you have to find them. They are not going to find you. That's why lead gen is so important.
Who you work with matters. No one succeeds no one succeeds alone, and great things are done through team atmosphere. I think my team will agree. coming in and working with each other. They're more like a family than they are a team, and they help each other out. When somebody's car breaks down, someone's like, I'll come and pick you up, we'll go on an appointment together, because we all have a goal. And I think that's the scariest thing with real estate agents is they hang their license, they walk into the office and they're like, well, where's HR? Well, who's gonna take me and show me around? Who's gonna train me? Who's gonna, where do I get my check? Where do I get my leads from? Like, you don't know. You don't realize that this is a strip mall. And that you all sell cell phone cases in your own different little spaces. That's really the reality. The good news is our office is a little different. We love to give back. I mean, I give without the expectation of receiving. I will give away all of my deepest and darkest secrets, to the point where I even see someone else posting ads online that are exactly like mine, and I'm like, all right. So who would like to get a free education? Raise your hand. Awesome. So if you have not put your, if you have not put one of your things in here, do it now.
That's yours.
Otherwise, hold on to yours. You already have yours, right? That's your copy? Who did not get one of these? We have 2. Everybody else got one. They're gonna hand you one. They're gonna hand me one. Okay. And then, all right. So this is it for a 90-hour educational course. And you must be present to win.
Last 4 digits, 2501.
2501. Last 4 digits. Congratulations. There you go. All right, guys, we're going to go out here. We're going to have some lunch. I'm available. Melissa's available. Sharon's available. Check with our sponsors as well. Have a conversation with us. We'd love to talk to you. If you'd like to meet us individually, we would love to send you over to one of our admins, schedule a one-on-one. Okay? Yes?
How are you?